Welcome back to A Closer Look. I'm your host, Linda Fontaine. We are now going to hear from the three nominees for the 100 Plus Tri-Cities Women Who Care Big Give. And first up, we have Erin T. Murphy, who's the CEO and Executive Director of Good Samaritan Ministries. Thank you for being here, Erin.
Thank you for having me, Linda.
My pleasure. Now, tell you what, you got 4 minutes. Give me your biggest spiel on selling us on your ministry so that maybe you'll win the big give this year.
Absolutely. Well, again, I want to thank the 100 Plus Tri-Cities Women Who Care for this opportunity and this great region we live in. And thank you, Linda, and A Closer Look for having this moment to share. Starting off, Good Samaritan Ministries is a 501c3 nonprofit ministry founded in 1985 by a woman named Mary Lou Copeland. And she started in the basement of a local Methodist church. And it was in a little closet. She called it her prayer closet, and she prayed there every day. And the Lord laid it on her heart to start passing out food boxes. And that grew into helping out neighbors in need with rent and utility assistance. A couple years later, they hired a social worker, and we're well into 35 years plus, and now we have what we have today. So our corporate headquarters is located downtown Johns City, and we have a satellite office in Piney Flats. Right now, we are embarking on one of the most challenging seasons we've ever endured as a region. We have a pandemic going on. We have a lot of racial and generational tension right now. And so with all that being said, businesses have shut down, people have lost jobs, and our neighbors are struggling. We have historically started a summer food box program where we provide children as well as their families, these children who are on free or reduced lunch during the school year, during the summer months. They have difficulty getting the nutrients that they need to be sustained, as well as their families. And so because of the pandemic and job loss, we've extended this program because a lot of kids hadn't gone back to school yet. Not only that, we understand that due to the opioid epidemic, that there are a lot of grandparent-led households. And so grandparents are on the fence about when school starts back, do they send their kids back to school or they keep them home because they're in that compromised age group. And so right now we've extended our program to provide for these children as well as their families during these challenging season rather. Right now we've committed to 300 families and these families are in desperate need. Our goal is to raise $50,000 within the next month so that we can provide these children as well as their families food boxes for the next couple months. And so we're believing and trusting that this great community who's always pitched in to help will once again answer the call to help their neighbors in need.
That's awesome. That is excellent. Well done, Erin T. Murphy. Well, good luck with your voting. I hope you guys are recipients of the Big Give. I know it's going to be hard for everybody to choose, but good luck with all that. And thank you so much for sharing your mission with us.
Thank you, Linda.
Here is our next nominee. We now have Paul G. Gabinet, who's the Executive Director for the Shepherd's Inn Safe House and Emergency Shelter for Women and Children. Thank you, Paul, for joining us.
Oh, thank you, Linda, for having me.
Oh, our pleasure. Now we've got just a few minutes. Go ahead and give us your best sell on why we would like to pick you to be the recipient of the Big Give this year.
Well, first off, thank you for doing this. And thank you to the 100 plus women who care for the Tri-Cities. My goodness, what a wonderful opportunity to come and share what we do. I've been associated. Somebody told me 24 years ago that I would be working as an executive director of a shelter for women and children in our community. I would say, I don't think so. My background's basically academic in nature, but I helped in the procedure for our community to look at this and evaluate. Carter County, Elizabethton, we are the only emergency shelter for women and children coming out of domestic violence settings or otherwise temporarily homeless. We're very small. We're a mom and pop organization. We are federally protected by the, by the government because we are a safe house for women and children. And we also do programs where people, when women and their children come to us, they look for security and safety. Oftentimes they walk through our doors, they have nothing more than the clothes they have on their backs. And our job is to work with them, and they're at the lowest point in their lives. And it's a secret when they come, and they don't want people to know. We work very closely with our community, even though we're a small organization, and we've been consistent for going on 24 years now, starting in May. And it's been phenomenal for me to watch this from the very beginning, because seeing a community that didn't think we had a problem. Mayberry has a problem with domestic violence, with women being abused, children, and we have evolved. We've evolved wonderfully, and our organizations in our community, our social services, our community work very closely with us. And to tell you that the thousands of people that have come through our doors over the 23 years, several things is imperative that I want you to know. First off, it's not just about coming to a safe house. It's about what happens after that experience. And a lot of times, nationally speaking, there's about 60% of the women go back to their perpetrators. And we're pleased to tell you that that's not so for us. It's about 13% go back, but even that's a bad number, but not like 65%. Also, the lowest budgeted program probably in this community, and we're in this region for a shelter. And we've done it because we've been able to use community resources and volunteers. The universities, Tennessee State sends me their students who come in to help us serve as interns who are going into the social work department because they want to learn how we do this and see how it's going. The money for the shelter, I will tell you that we do not receive federal or state funding. We receive all our funding from our city, and our county helps pay our house payment every year. And frankly, we raise the rest. And we do not have fundraisers this year, as we all know, because of the pandemic. Wow. Fundraisers provide about $30,000, and we can't have any of those. Oh, yeah. So the opportunities for us if somebody said, well, what do you do with the funds? And one of the challenges whenever you're an organization like ours is to make sure that we match the need to the funding source, where they want to give to. And I'm not quite sure about that, but I would be able to use, frankly, funding from the 100 plus by replacing couches, putting some new beds in, beds that are already so old, that we need to replace some of them, fixing a roof, and the list goes on and on. I have a very composite list. So we are grateful for the opportunity to be here to share. I know my time is very thin and coming to an end, and I thank you for allowing me to come and share about the Shepherd's Inn. We are the only emergency shelter for women and children in this community. And we are so grateful to be considered as part of the group. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Paul, so much. What an awesome, awesome organization you have. Good luck. I hope you get some funds for this organization. Thank you so much for being with us today.
We're grateful. Thank you all.
My next nominee and final nominee is Katie Doriot. She's a Young Life Direct Minister with Upper East Tennessee Young Life. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. We're excited.
Oh, it's our pleasure. Now you've got just a few minutes here to go ahead and give us your best sell on what this money from the Tricities Women Who Care would mean to your organization. First, tell us a little bit about your organization.
Okay, great, thanks. Well, I'm really grateful and excited to share with you just a glimpse of what we do in serving teenagers in Carter, Unicoi, and Washington counties. Young Life is actually all around the world, and our mission is to introduce adolescents to Jesus and help them grow in their faith. And we do that through friendship and just deep relationships with teenagers. Here in Upper East Tennessee, we serve over 1,200 teenagers each year, and that's split between the 7 high schools that we're currently in. And we have just over 50 volunteer leaders, and those are either college students or adults who volunteer their time to be with teenagers and just spend time with them and build friendship. If you've ever met a Young Life leader, you know that they're very impressive. And truly, if you were to go out into the community, maybe pre-COVID, you would see them everywhere. They're at Barbaritos having dinner with teenagers. They're at football games, volleyball matches, walking around the mall, eating breakfast at the high school. Young life leaders really go where teenagers are and build friendships with them on their turf. We're strong believers in earning the right to be heard, meaning that you won't see a leader walking into a high school and telling kids what to believe. We know that what they really want is someone who cares about them, that they can trust, and that they can believe what they say. I have been a young life leader for 8 years, and I can tell you that teenagers have it hard. The pressure of the world that we live in, the anxiety that they carry, especially this year, it's just been really tough on them. And we found that what they really want is just someone who cares about them and who knows them for who they really are, that they don't have to put on a front for, someone who listens to them and hurts with them, and someone who carries the hope of Jesus into every room. Teenagers want to know that there's more to life. They want to know that they're here for a reason. They want hope and something to trust in. And we get to share that with them just through spending our lives with them. This coming year, things will be very different, this semester especially. Usually we meet once a week, every school meets, and we have something called Club, where you sing and you jump around, and there's games and a talk about Jesus. And we won't be able to do that. We can't pile into a basement right now and do that. But what we can do is what we're really good at. And that is being friends with teenagers, spending time with them, having something called campaigners, which is small groups where a young life leader sits down with their high school friends and opens the Bible and prays with them. So while things are really different, you can trust that we are really committed to teenagers in this area. If we this generous gift, we would use it to create new and exciting ways to be with teenagers this year, whether that's big, spread out outdoor events or smaller group activities. Teenagers want real full life right now, and we're going to find ways to make that happen. So I'm super thankful and humbled that we're even being considered for this. And the last thing I'll share is just that I am who I am today and am where I am today because of Young Life. When a college student walked into Science Hill High School and became my Young Life leader, it changed everything for me. And so, yeah, I really believe in what we're doing, and I believe that teenagers in our area need someone, and I'm so glad that I get to be one of those people. So thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for just listening and for caring about the teenagers in our area.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you, Katie, so much. I don't know how we're going to be able to choose which organization. That was awesome. I want everybody to win. Thank you so much for taking the time to share with us.
Yeah, of course. Thanks so much.
And good luck voting. It's not too late. Tricitieswomenwhocare.com. You can join, you can vote, and I hope you do. See you next week.